You're exhausting your spirit, replaying the broken scene, trying to scrub the shadow from the places you have been. I see you carrying the gavel for a crime you didn't mean, living in the wreckage of the coulda, shoulda been. You've turned our memories into a prison for the heart, refusing to believe that we can make a brand new start. Is it justice you're after, or just a weight of the chain to stay inside the familiar cycle of the same old pain? The world doesn't need your penance, it needs your current light, the version of you that finally stepped out of the night. But we're so busy judging the ghost that we used to be, that we've lost the vision of the person who's finally free. It's the amnesty for the soul, the signing of the peace, the moment the internal warfare finally starts to cease. It's not about a perfect path, it's the mercy in the bend, the courage to treat your younger self like a long lost friend. Yeah, we were arriving in the skin of the forgiven. We're finally surviving. Yeah, my eyes are clear now, but they've wept for the choices I made. Walking through the fire just to find a little bit of shade. We're also ashamed of the versions that didn't survive, forgetting that those stumbles are the reason we're still alive. You're not a collection of failures, you're a library of growth, the witness to the struggle and the winner of the oath. There's a power in I forgive me, a golden I was young, a holiness in the songs that the broken heart is sung. So let the records burn, let the old judgments die. There's a wide and open mercy in the center of your eye. You're the lesson, you're the teacher, you're the student and the prize, the only part of the journey that truly learns to rise. Yeah, drop the gavel, drop the gavel. The court is adjourned. You're free to go. You're allowed to be happy now. Finally, soft, peace. You're exhausting your patience, playing the part of the child, while the storm in your belly's getting increasingly wild. I see you nodding at stories you heard 50 times before, checking the exit, calculating the distance to the door. We turned our honesty into a polite and hollow hum, staying so quiet that our very own senses go numb. Is it the harmony you want, or just the absence of the fight, or staying the person they need you to be for the night? The world doesn't need your silence, it needs your messy truth, the version of you that outgrew the ghosts of your youth. But we're so terrified of breaking the porcelain set that we're drowning in things we haven't even said yet. It's the dinner table diplomacy, the piece that costs too much, the heavy distance in a familiar blood-bound touch. It's not about the argument, it's about the air in the room, the courage to flower when they only expect you to bloom. Yeah, we're exhaling, the weight of the unsaid is finally unveiling. Glass is half empty, but my boundaries are finally set. Paying the tax on the freedom I haven't found yet.
We're all so busy agreeing that we've forgotten to speak, protecting the strong while we're stifling the unique. You're not a character in a play they wrote years ago. You're the director of the only life you'll ever know. There's a power in I disagree, a gold enough change. So holiness in having the furniture of your soul rearranged. So let the tension rise, let the mask finally slip. There's a sanctuary in loosening the diplomatic grip. You're the fire on the hearth, not the dust on the shelf. The only witness to the evolution of yourself. Yeah. Stop swallowing the words. They're not meant for your stomach, they're meant for the world. It's okay to be different, it's okay to be new. Breathe. Speak. You're exhausting your memory, trying to find the why. Watching the digital bridges burn a pixel sky. I see you scrolling through names that feel like strangers now. Wonder when forever turned into a broken vow. We turned our history into a gallery of ghosted chats, trading the deep long nights for double taps. And where you ask, is it the pride you're holding or just the fear of the hello? Watching the golden years turn into a pale and dusty yellow. The world doesn't need your status, it needs your actual voice. The raw and edited sound of making a human choice. But we're so paralyzed by the distance we've let grow that we'd rather stay lonely than let the other know. It's the gray out of let's catch up, the silence in the bone, the heavy realization that we're all evolving alone. It's not about the fallout, it's about the slow, quiet drift, the terrifying beauty of the tectonic internal shift. Yeah, we're changing, the map of our world is rearranging. My contact list is a museum of people I used to trust. Gold-plated memories covered in layers of modern dust. We're all so busy leveling up that we've lost the base, winning the race, but forgetting the look of a brother's face. You're not a failure for drifting, you're not a villain for the gap. You're just a traveler who folded up the old worn-out map. There's a power in your forgive, a freedom in your reach, a lesson in the silence that no textbook could ever teach. So let the ego dissolve, let the who call last die. There's a sanctuary waiting under the how are you sky. You're the keeper of stories, the witness to the start, a piece of a puzzle that's so beating in someone's heart. It's the graveyard of let's catch it, silence in the bones, the heavy realization that we're all evolving alone. It's not about the fallout, it's about the slow, quiet drift, the terrifying beauty of the tectonic internal shift. Yeah, we're changing, the map of our world is rearranging. Yeah. Stop waiting for a sign, just be the signal. It's much warmer, and it's much more brave. It's never too late, but it's never the same. Call them real. Yeah, it's the breakout of the statue. exhausting your hormoning the person you didn't become. Listening to the beat of a distant imaginary drum. I see you visiting the cities you never actually moved to, holding the hand of a lover you never really knew. We've turned our what ifs into a way we carry in our sleep, sinking in the oceans of the promises we couldn't keep. Is it the regret you want or just the reason to feel small? To stare at the shadow of the man who never had to fall. The world doesn't need your phantom, it needs your actual skin. The jagged, beautiful reality of the battle you're in. But we so busy chasing the life that stayed on the shelf that we've become a stranger to the only version of ourselves. It's the funeral that could have been the ghost of the maid. The courage to let the parallel shadows just fade away. It's not about the tragedy, it's the gravity of the now. The radical act of making a brand new honest vow. That we're arriving in the life we actually have. We're finally surviving. My map is torn but the destination is finally clear, leaving the if onlys in the rear view of the year. We're also haunted by the paths we didn't choose to take, forgetting that the bridge we're on is the only one we can break. You're not a failure for outgrowing a dream that was too small, or for being the one who had the nerve to answer the call. There's a power and I'm here, a golden that this is me, a holiness and the truth that only the present can see. So let the alternate endings burn, let the highlights go dim. There's a masterpiece waiting on this side of the rim. You're the heartbeat, you're the grit, they're the grit and the bone, the only part of the story that you can truly call. It's the funeral that could have been the ghost of the maid. The courage to let the parallel shadows just fade away. It's not about the tragedy, it's the gravity of it now. The radical act of making a brand new honest vow. That we're arriving in the life we actually have. We're finally surviving. Close a book on that other guy. He doesn't exist, but you do, and you're doing just fine. Breathe in, real, here. You're exhausting your nerves trying to patch up a sinking ship, watching the gold and the glory just slowly, surely slip. I see you white knuckling the ghost of a life you outgrew. Terrified of the person the world never actually knew. We turned our status into a cage with a heavy iron lock, counting the minutes on a dead and dusty social clock. Is it the safety you want or just the permission to fall, to find out there's nothing but air on the other side of the wall? The world doesn't need your success, it needs your survival. The raw, unedited dance of your own soul's arrival. But we're so busy fearing the end of the comfortable lie that we've forgotten the magic of looking the truth in the eye. It's the beauty of zero, the hollowed out space of the brave. The moment you realize there's nothing left to say. It's not about a tragedy, it's the lightness of the bone. Radical power standing completely alone. We're arriving in the wreckage of the old. We're finally surviving. My pockets are empty, but the oxygen is finally mine. No more pretending to be part of the assembly line. We're all so secure that we've lost the ability to fly, weighted down by the things that we're too afraid to let die. You're not a portfolio, you're not a house, you're not a name. You're the invisible spark that survived the entire flame. There's a power in nothing to lose, a gold in the ground, a holiness in the silence where your actual voice is found. So let the structures burn down, let the reputation fade. There's a masterpiece waiting in the center of the shade. You're the survivor, you're the witness, you're the fire and the frost, the only thing in the universe that can never be lost. Everything you lost was just a weight anyway.
Look at your hands, they're empty. Now you can finally hold the world. Zero, empty, free.
You're exhausting your peace by inviting the world too soon, chasing the sun before you even thank the moon. I see you reaching for the plastic globe before you reach for the air, checking the status of a life that isn't even there. We've turned our waking into a sprint toward a deadline, blurring the edges where the soul and the day align. Is it the news you need, or just the sound of your own breath? A moment of mercy before the daily life and death. The world doesn't need your hurry, it needs your hollowed out start, the quietest room in the gallery of your heart. But we're so terrified of the stillness before the race that we've lost the ability to look at the day in the face.
It's the blueprint of dawn, the space that belongs only to you. Before the gray requirements start bleeding through the blue. It's not about the hustle, it's the grace of the steam, the heavy, sweet silence between the truth and the dream. Yeah, we're arriving in the warmth of the kitchen, we're finally surviving.
My phone is in the other room, but my spirit is fully here, filtering the static, making the inner vision clear. We're all so up to date that we've forgotten how to be fresh, feeling the pulse underneath the tired morning flesh. You're not a battery to be drained by the morning light, you're the sovereign of the hour before the world gets tight. There's a power in not yet, a gold in the first sip, a holiness in the way the shadow slowly slips. So let the emails wait, let the notifications stay cold. There's a much bigger story waiting to be told. You're the steam on the glass, the dust and the light, the hello, the only part of the journey that's allowed to go slow. Yeah.
Take another minute,
The world will still be there when you're ready,
but
you're only here right now.
breathe.
Softly.
Yeah. You're exhausting your patience, trying to outrun a ghost, giving the version of love that you actually needed the most. I see you kneeling on the carpet at the end of a long, hard day, choosing the words that your own father never knew how to say. We've turned our discipline into a bridge instead of a wall, catching the spirit before it even has a chance to fall. Is it the control you want, or just the safety of the nest, to be the only place where a tired little head can finally rest? The world doesn't need your perfection, it needs your presence, the slow, unhurried beauty of your actual essence. But we're so busy fearing the echoes of our own past that we've forgotten the magic of a love that's built to last. It's the gentle rebellion, the breaking of the ancient code, the courage to tell a story that hasn't already been told. It's not about the mistakes, it's the mercy in your eyes, the radical power of the truth that never needs to disguise. Yeah, we're arriving in the light of the new cycle. We're voice is steady now, because I'm speaking for the small. Building a sanctuary that is never ever gonna fall. We're all so exhausted from the weight of the things we survive, but look at the wonder that is finally purely a ride. You're not a victim of the patterns that they left in your blood. You're the gardener who's turning the dust into something but mud. There's a power in it's okay, a golden I'm here. A holiness in the way you wash away the ancestral fear. So let the old ghost whisper, let the shadows do their part. There's a new sun rising in the nursery of your heart. You're the cycle breaker, the witness, the anchor, the kin. The only part of the story where the light is allowed to win.
Yeah. It stops with you. The darkness ends here. You did it. You're the hero they'll never have to recover from. Gentle, strong, home. Yeah.
Exhausting your thumb scrolling for a spark of life, cutting through the static with a digital knife.
I see you flinching every time the pocket starts to glow. A prisoner to the answers that you don't even know. We turn our attention into a currency for trade, selling off our focus for a shadow and a shade. Is it the connection you crave or just the fear of the gap, or falling through the holes of a satellite map? The world doesn't need you seeing, it needs your sight. The version of your eyes that isn't blinded by the light. But we're so tethered to the ping and the blue light haze that we've lost the ability to simply sit and gaze.
Just the luxury of missing, the power to be gone, the courage to be silent from the distant to the dawn. It's not about the signal, it's about the empty space, the radical beauty of an unsearchable face. Yeah, we're unplugging from the wires that were quietly tugging. Yeah, my battery is dying, but I never felt so charged. Escaping from the cage where the ego was enlarged. We're all so reachable that we become impossible to find, losing the quiet corners of a sovereign mind. You're not an inbox, you're not a profile to be grazed. You're the ancient wonder that you leave the world amazed. There's a dignity in offline, a golden art around, a holiness in walking on unjagged ground. So let the pings multiply, let the screens go black. There's a path through the woods that doesn't lead you back. You're the master of the pause, the king of the no, the only part of nature that refuses to show. Yeah, it's the luxury of missing, the power to be gone, the courage to be silent from the dusk until the dawn. It's not about the signal, it's about the empty space, the radical beauty of an unsearchable face. Yeah, and I'm coming. Yeah. Stop being a ghost in your own machine. Put the glass down. Look at the dust. Look at the rain. You're not missing out. You're finally in. Invisible. Yeah.
You're exhausting your spirit, trying to carry a house on your back, painting over the generational stains and the structural crack. I see you swallowing the salt that your ancestors sowed in the field, yeah. Refusing to break under the pressure of a century-old shield. We've turned our loyalty into a slow and invisible poison, staying inside the shadows just to keep the old ones from noising. Is it the belonging you want, or the right to finally be well? To be the only one who exits the gold-plated cell. The world doesn't need your repeat, it needs your original song. The version of you that doesn't feel like you finally belong. But we're so terrified of the table where the truth is the guest, that we've become a museum for a history that never could rest. It's the no breakers, the echo of the black swan, the courage to be the stranger before the coming of dawn. It's not about the betrayal, it's the mercy of the new, the radical act of becoming the only thing that is true. Yeah, we're arriving in the silence of the new path. We're finally surviving. We're finally surviving. Yeah. My blood is the same, but the frequency is totally changed. Healing the parts of the spirit that they left rearranged. We're all so loyal to the wounds that were gifted at birth, giving away our potential for a handful of ancestral work. Yeah. You're not a carbon copy, you're the fire that's meant to burn clean. The only part of the forest that stayed unexpectedly green. There's a power in I'm different, a gold in the I won't follow, a holiness in the bitter pill that you refuse to swallow. So let the whispers begin, let the portraits turn to the wall. There's a sanctuary in being the one who refused to fall. You're the anchor that lifted the current that went the other way, the only light in the family that finally had something to say. Yeah. You don't have to carry their ghosts, they have their own journey. You have yours. The chain is broken. Walk away. Clean, new.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exhausting your engine, trying to redline the soul, trading the journey for a phantom of control. I see you faking the grind while your spirit is thin, tired of the race that you didn't even begin. We turned our healing into a checklist of chores, adding more weight to the stuff that was already yours. Is it the peak you're chasing, or just a place to be weak, to let the tears fall without a filter on your cheek? The world doesn't need your best, it needs you raw, the jagged edges and the beautiful honest flaw. But we're so busy winning in a game with no prize that we lost the ability to trust our own eyes.
It's the maintenance phase, the quiet under construction, the courage to fail and ignore the social seduction. It's not about the glow up, it's the power to be dim, the radical act of not reaching the rim. Yeah, we're pausing. The old machine is finally exhausting.
calendar that's empty, but my mind is finally clear. Deleting the pressure, deleting the ghost of the year. We're all so optimized that we've forgotten to feel, turning our heartbeats into a business deal. You're not a starter, you're not a brand to be sold. You're the unpolished soul, you're the cold pressed gold. There's a glory in average, a medicine and done, a holiness in walking when they want you to run. So let the metrics drop, let the followers wait. There's a sanctuary in being fashionably late. You're the deep breath, the heavy sigh, the I don't know, the only part of the garden that's allowed to grow slow. It's the maintenance phase, the quiet under construction, the courage to fail and ignore the social seduction. It's not about the glow up, it's the power to be damned. The radical act of not reaching the rim. Yeah, we're pausing. The old machine is finally exhausting. Yeah, stop trying to be the finished product, just be the work in progress. It's much more interesting, and it's much more kind. You're not broken, you're just resting, quiet, steady, blunder.
Exhausting your logic, trying to find someone to blame. Searching for a fire when we've already run out of flame. I see you're looking for an insult or a reason to be mad, instead of just accepting the beauty of the good we have. We've turned our endings into a courtroom, a judge and a jury, blinding our vision with the fake and the necessary fury. Is it the pride you're saving, or just the fear of the fine, of letting the odds become yours and mine? The world doesn't need your bitterness, it needs you. Release the quietest version of finding the permanent peace. But we so terrified of a closure that doesn't leave a scar, that we've forgotten how to appreciate exactly where we are. It's the mature departure, the hand that finally lets go, the courage to admit that we've run out of seeds to sow. It's not about the failure, it's the grace of the farewell, the radical act of wishing the other person well. Yeah, we're arriving in the kindness of the end. We're finally surviving. My heart is heavy, but my conscience is finally light. No more trying to win a battle when no one is right. We're all so wounded that we've forgotten how to be kind, leaving the wreckage and the broken promises behind. You're not an enemy, you're just a chapter I've already read, a beautiful sequence of words that have all been said. There's a power in thank you, a gold in the good luck, a holiness in the gear that finally got unstuck. So let the silence settle, let the accusation stay still. There's a sanctuary built inside a very peaceful will. You're the traveler, you're the road, you're the sunset in the sky, the only part of the story that doesn't need to ask why. Yeah. Close the door softly, you don't have to slam me, just walk away with love, with respect, finish kind.
You're exhausting your days trying to buy back the night, trading your vision for a flickering artificial light. I see you drowning in a calendar of must-do and soon, while the ties of your heart are ignored by the moon. We turn our pulse into a clock that's ticking too fast, haunted by a future that looks exactly like the past. Is it the finish line you want, or just a reason to stop? To let the heavy bag of expectations finally drop. The world doesn't need your speed, it needs your presence, the simple quiet hum of your own inner essence. But we're so scared of the silence in the room that we fill every second with a self-made doom. It's the ritual of the mundane, the salt in the bread, the courage to ignore the voices inside your own head. It's not about the milestone, it's about the air in your chest, the radical holy act of allowing yourself to rest. You're the reiki, yeah. The old version of us is finally breaking. Yeah, my hands are scarred, but my grip is finally loose. Done with the necktie that felt like a velvet noose. We're all so busy securing that we forgot how to feel. Locked in a race where even the grass isn't real. You're not a resource, you're not a number to be fed. You're the unwritten poetry that's waiting to be said. There's a power in your slow medicine, and you know a dignity in letting the toxic ambitions go. So let the calendars burn, let the schedule slide. There's a universe waiting for you deep inside. You're the observer of the rain, the listener to the wind, the soul that's beautiful even when it's thin. Stop trying to outrun the sun. Just be the light, it's much softer, and it reaches further. You're not, you're right on time. Still open. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're exhausting your bones, building floors you'll never walk, listening to the lucky ones and their expensive talk. I see you washing the grease from the cracks in your palm, finding in the evening a gray and heavy calm. We turned our endurance into a quiet holy craft, while the world is busy chasing the golden hollow draft. Is it the fame you're missing, or just a night without the ache? To know that the foundation never gonna break. The world doesn't need your glory, it needs your steady hand, the part of the machine that makes the whole thing stand. But we're so focused on the neon and the center stage that we've forgotten the hero on the bottom of the page.
It's the silent scaffold, the strength underneath the floor, the courage to keep coming back for just a little more. It's not about the trophy, it's the bread upon the cloth, the fire in the front is to feast the hunger of us both. Yeah, we're providing, the pulse of the city is finally surviving.
My back is bent but my integrity is straight as steel, turning the gears of a very real and heavy wheel. We're all so innovative that we've lost the sense of touch, thinking that a concept's supposed to mean as much. You're not a cog, you're the engine, you're the oil, you're the spark, the one who keeps the lights on when the word is getting dark. There's a power in the use, full of gold in the applied, a holiness in the secrets that your work boots hide. So let the headline bypass, let the cameras go past. There's a sanctuary in building something meant to last. You're the roof above us, sleeping the heat within the wall, the only thing that's solid in this hollowed out.
Yeah. Wash your hands. Sit down.
You did You're the reason the world is still spinning, even if they never say it. Rest, solid.
You're exhausting your kindness, trying to be everyone's yes, drowning in a sea of favors and a self-made mess. I see you burning your midnight oil just to warm up the skin, losing the battle before the negotiation can even begin. We turned our politeness into a cage with a velvet lock, watching our own lives tick away on someone else's clock. Is it the peace you're keeping, or just the fear of the frown of being the one who finally lets the heavy curtain down? The world doesn't need your sacrifice, it needs your enough, the version of your spirit that's made of much harder stuff. But we're so terrified of the silence that I know might bring, that we become a puppet dancing on a fraying string.
It's the siren, the line that you draw in the sand, the quietest revolution happen in the palm of your hand. It's not about the anger, it's the dignity of the space, the recollector looking at the mirror with a steady face. Yeah, we're arriving in the power of the night. For me, we're finally surviving.
My circle is smaller, but the air is finally thin and sweet, cutting out the parasites and the people I don't need to meet. We're all so available that we've lost a sense of our worth, giving away the only plot of land we own on this earth. You're not a vending machine for the validation they crave. You're the ocean itself, you're the storm, you're the wave. There's a power and I'm busy, you're gold and I don't want her. A holiness in the shadows that the ghosts can't haunt her. So let the invitations expire, let the phone stay still. There's a sanctuary built inside a very disciplined will. You're the wall, you're the gate, you're the key in the lock, the only thing solid enough to survive the social shock. Yeah.
No explanation needed.
You know is a complete sentence. Protect your peace.
The only thing you truly own.
Clear. Shot. Yeah. Clear. Shot. Yeah.
Yeah. You're exhausting your name, trying to live up to the brand. Walking through the noise of a world you don't understand. I see you blending in with the neon and the gray, finding a sanctuary in the middle of the day. We've turned our identity into a cage of who knows who, but here between the buildings there's a version that is new. Is it the recognition you want or the right to disappear, to be the silent ghost in the center of the sphere? The world doesn't need your bio, it needs your actual lies, the part of you that's hidden underneath the social ties. But we're so terrified of being just another face that we've lost the holy magic of this unmapped space. It's the grace of the stranger, the freedom of the crowd, the quietest whisper that's allowed to be loud. It's not about the destination, it's the flow of the street, the beautiful rhythm where the nobodies meet. Yeah, we're arriving in the sea of the nameless. We're finally surviving. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. My
shadow is my own now and it doesn't have a past. Walking at a speed that was never meant to last. We're all so important that we've forgotten how to hide, to let the heavy title stay on the other side. You're not a LinkedIn profile, you're not a neighborhood. You're the spontaneous motion that is finally understood. There's a power in nobody knows me, a gold in the lost, the holiness in the transit without counting the cost. So let the phone stay dark, let the reputation fade. There's a masterpiece of living in the center of the shade. You're the breath in the subway, the reflection in the store, the only part of the city that isn't keeping score.
It's the grace of the stranger, the freedom of the crowd, the quietest whisper that's allowed to be loud. It's not about a destination, it's the flow of the street, the beautiful rhythm where the nobodies meet. Yeah, we're arriving in the sea of the nameless. We're finally surviving. Don't be afraid to be a stranger. It's the only time you're truly yourself. Nobody's looking, everybody's busy. You're free on sea unknown.
You're exhausting your memory trying to find the old ghost. But the walls here are white and they don't know your host. I see you sitting on a crate with a cup of lukewarm tea, looking at the shadows of the person you're about to be. We turn our survival into a pile of cardboard and tape, calculating the distance of our final beautiful escape. Is it the furniture you're missing, or just the weight of the floor? The comfort of the chains that you don't have to wear anymore. The world doesn't need your mission, it needs your sanctuary. The part of the map that isn't haunted or scary. But we're so busy wondering if the neighbors can hear our heart, that we've forgotten the holiness of this brand new start. It's the unpacked light, the echo of the empty hall, the courage to hang your spirit on a different kind of wall. It's not about the square footage, it's the oxygen in the room, the radical power of watching a new life start to bloom. Yeah, we're arriving in the smell of the varnish, we're finally surviving. In the smell of the varnish, we're finally surviving. My mattress is on the floor, but my dreams are finally high. No more looking at the ceiling with a heavy broken sigh. We're also settled in the ruins that we're afraid to move, stuck in a static rhythm, stuck in a painful groove. You're not the dust from the old place, you're the window and the view. The only thing in this apartment that is absolutely new. There's a power in I'm home, a gold in the first night. Holiness in the way you're finally winning the fight. So let the boxes stay closed, let the labels stay blurred. There's a masterpiece waiting in a life that's finally heard. You're the tenant of the future, the owner of the now, the only part of the story that doesn't need a why or how. It's the unpacked light, the echo of the empty hall, the courage to hang your spirit on a different kind of wall. It's not about the square footage, it's the oxygen in the room, the radical power of watching a new life start to bloom. Yeah, we're arriving in the
the smell of the varnish, you're finally surviving. Yeah. Sleep well. No one has to keep with you. The morning is gonna be beautiful. You made it. Safe. Clean. Home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're exhausting your present, trying to justify the past, spilling a stone wall for a feeling that wasn't meant to last. I see you looking for that spark in the back of a dusty drawer, wondering when you started needing less and wanting more. We've turned our curiosity into a series of strategic moves, walking in the same circles, stuck in the same tire grooves. Is it the safety you want, or just the permission to be wild, to reclaim the messy, loud and unpolished version of a child? The world doesn't need your logic, it needs your untamed life, the part of you that didn't care about being wrong or right. But we're so busy being serious and capable and grown that we become strangers to the very heart we own. It's the untold version of you, the one that didn't need a map, the dream that fell asleep while you were caught in the trap. It's not about the years, it's about the frequency you keep, the promises you made before the world went to sleep. Yeah, we're returning. The fire you thought was out is finally burning. Yeah, 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 returning. The fire you thought was out is finally burning. Yeah, 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 yeah. My shoes are expensive now, but my feet still want the grass. Watching the shadows of the person I was quietly pass. We're all so civilized that we've forgotten how to howl, hiding our instincts behind a professional, polite scowl. You're not a resume, you're not a list of things you bought. You're the spontaneous laughter that can't be taught or caught. There's a power and I wanna play, a gold and I don't care, a holiness in the way you used to breathe the open air. So let the titles fade away, let the reputation slide. There's a wild, beautiful universe waiting for you inside. You're the mud on the knees, the sun on the skin, the why, the only part of the story that was never meant to die. Yeah, go find that kid, tell him you're sorry it took so long, and let them lead the way. It's not too late, it's never too late. Unfiltered, wild, home, home. Exhausting your youth, trying to freeze the frame, playing a high stakes, losing biological game. I see you hide in the silver and the stories in your skin, terrified of the changes that are happening within. We've turned our aging into a crime we need to hide, ignoring the ocean while we're fighting the tide. Is it the smooth face you want, or the depth of the soul, to be the half-finished sketch or to wear the grand whole? The world doesn't need your forever 21, it needs the wisdom of the miles you've actually run. But we're so busy chasing a ghost that is gone, that we lost the beauty of the dusk and the dawn. It's the vintage soul, the gravity and the light, the courage to be the stars in the battle of the night. It's not about the fading, it's the patina of the heart, the radical power of being a living work of art. Yeah, we're arriving in the beauty of the years, we're finally surviving. Yeah. My reflection is changing, but my vision is finally sharp, playing the rhythm of the years in a much deeper harp. We're all so scared of the lines around our eyes, forgetting they're the maps of our laughter and our cries, and not a product with an expiration date on the side. You're the ancient forest, you're the mountain, you're the guide. There's a power in, I've seen it all, a gold and the gray, a holiness in the way the years wash the vanity away. So let the filters vanish, let the real texture show. There's a sanctuary in letting the younger versions go. You're the vintage wine, the one I booked, the I'm here, the only thing that gets better with every passing year. Yeah, don't fear the clock, it's just counting the moments you actually live. Wear your age like a crown, you earned every bit of it. Yeah. Vintage, Charlotte.
You've been polishing that armor until it blinds the sun, running a marathon where the finish line is never won. I see you stitching a smile onto a face that wants to scream, living inside the blueprints of someone else's dream. We're all just acts rehearsing lines we don't believe, hiding the scars of the expensive fabric of our sleeve. Is it the throne you're after, or just a place to sit down, to stop balancing the heavy gold of a hollow crown? The world doesn't want your steel, it wants your skin, the honest mess that's vibrating deep within. But we're so terrified of the cracks in the glass that we let the only life we have just quietly pass. It's the mercy of the shadow, the truth in the dark, the moment you start trying to leave a permanent mark. It's not the mountain peak, it's the dirt on your shoe, the simple terrifying beauty of being only you. Yeah, we're exhaling, losing the battle but finally prevailing. My pockets are light, but my spirit is gaining some ground, far from the echoes of the city's judgmental sound. We're so busy building that we forgot how to dwell, decorating the inside of a very comfortable cell. You're not a project, you're not a broken machine, you're the raw electricity pulsing behind the scene. There's a glory in your ordinary, a diamond in your plane, a holiness in the way you handle your own rain. So let the statues crumble, let the spotlight go dim. There's a vast open ocean where you don't have to swim. You're the breath in the lungs, the blood in the vein, a story that doesn't need to explain its own pain. It's the mercy of the shadow, the truth in the dark, the moment you stop trying to leave a permanent mark. It's not the mountain peak, it's the dirt on your shoe, the simple terrifying beauty of being only you. Yeah, we're exhaling, losing the battle but finally prevailing. Yeah. Stop pretending to be iron, just be the mirror. It's much clearer, and and it's much more real. You don't have to win, you just have to stay in. Breathe soft.
Yeah, you're exhausting your spirit trying to turn a talent into a check. Putting the price tag on the fire that's burning in your neck. I see you counting the likes on the thing you did just for the fun, wondering if it's worth it before the actual work is done. We turned our wonder into a side hustle, a grind, a task, hiding the simple pleasure behind a professional mask. Is it the profit you want, or just the feeling of the clay, of letting the hours and the deadlines just melt away? The world doesn't need your output, it needs your playful spark, the way you hum to yourself when you're walking through the dark. But we so busy being efficient and optimizing smart that we've lost the wholly useless center of our heart. It's the unprofitable joy, the magic of the wasted time, the courage to be messy and the rhythm without the rhyme. It's not about the career, it's the pain upon your hand, the radical act of doing something that no one planned. Yeah, we're arriving in the freedom of the pointless, we're finally surviving. My garden is a mess, but the dirt feels like a long lost friend, doing things that don't have a strategy or a profitable end. We're all so marketable that we've forgotten how to just play, throwing the genuine weird versions of ourselves away. You're not a brand, you're not a stock, you're not a portfolio. You're the kid who likes to dance when the radio's on low. There's a power in it's just for me, a gold and the badly done, a holiness in the race that doesn't have to be won. So let the metrics crash, let the experts look away. There's a sanctuary in the games that we used to play. Or the amateur, the dreamer, the collector, or the why, the only part of the world that isn't for you to buy. Yeah. Stop trying to make it pay, just make it. Stop trying to make it pay.